AI can't take my job. Possibly true, but maybe not. Hi, are we rolling? I'm Helen, this is Field Notes, a new channel. If you're enjoying this, please do consider dropping me a like. I won't ask you to subscribe now, but maybe by the end of the video. Okay, one thing that I'm hearing from people all the time, especially people my age, is that they don't think that their jobs can be taken by AI. I'm starting to hear this again and again. Well, what I do is never going to be able to be done by AI. And I just have to say, maybe don't be so sure of that. Okay, here is my thinking. Let me explain. So while I agree that on the face of it, many jobs that need to be done by human hands still, and they're not robots to actually do them, seem pretty safe. Or do they? I gave this some more thought. We had a plumber here. We had a whole bunch of stuff go wrong in the house. It was certainly beyond any kind of handyman type job. We needed a pro. Is that job AI proof? The other job I was thinking of, probably because it pertains to me, somewhere that I need to go pretty regularly, is to get your hair cut, to get my hair cut. So hairstylists, hairdressers, you would think that that's completely AI proof as well, right? Someone physically needs to trim the hair. Okay, but I think we're being a little too smug. I think that AI could take many more jobs, and it's not going to be in the exact linear way that we think. Like maybe it's not going to be the robot plumber. I think we're maybe even a generation away from that happening, coming into your home and repairing things. I think the robot hairdresser, you need so much fine motor skill, control, not to mention like artistic talent, that I also don't see that coming to robots anytime soon. But here's what I was thinking. You let me know if this makes sense and what your thinking is on this situation. Okay, I'm gonna use the example and see the example through of hairstyling, right? So even in the 80s and even into the 90s, my grandmother would go to the hairstylist to get her curls set every week. And if you're my age, younger, older, you might remember that someone in your family did that too. Maybe your own grandmother or an aunt or someone like that. This was like a non-negotiable thing. This is just the thing that they did. It very much came out of the 1950s, get your hair set culture underneath the air dryer, you know, the big hood dryer thing. Was a cultural norm. And it wasn't just for like, ladies who lunch. My grandmother was a working class woman. It was just the done thing. You went weekly to get your hair set. Slowly over time, even doing that started to erode. Okay, so you could say, yeah, but people started to not wear their hair in like beehive. My grandmother didn't have a beehive, but she would get her curls set, but beehives, went out and more natural hairstyles came in, especially in the 1970s. It was kind of more wash and go, or maybe you needed hair dryer. Okay, true, but we're getting to my point. Now, I think women are probably just as done with their hair as they were in the 80s. They've just learned to do it themselves, right? And how have they learned to do it themselves? Very much through online culture, right? Through watching YouTube videos. It's not really so much passed from woman to woman. Like a grown woman is not going to be sitting with her own grown friend and learn how to use a curling iron together. It really very much is something that you'd be seeing through Instagram, YouTube tutorials, that sort of thing. Again, it's not really even something you can be taught in a magazine. Like I used to work in magazines, and that was not considered a skill that was easy to pass through in a magazine article or through photos. So now we're much more in a DIY culture where you're expected to do a lot of beauty stuff on your own, right? Even makeup, like the level of makeup that even like a teenager who likes makeup can work at is probably at the level of a makeup artist that was working at, a moderate level in the 90s. I'm not even joking about that. The skill of these young people is incredible. And where do they learn it? They learn it online, TikToks, YouTube, Instagram. Okay, thank you for bearing with me. I am getting to my point about this eventually. So maybe the hairstylist doesn't get replaced, but maybe there's AI that is so guided that can guide you through a DIY cut session of your own. I mean, maybe even it integrates with like e-commerce and you want to cut your hair, so there's some sort of AI interface that tells you exactly the scissors you need, gets you a cape, gets you the right comb, and it is like dropped off by a drone in your house within 45 minutes. Like that is not the distant future. I think that could happen right now, probably. So you'll get your tools and then you have a really good AI app. Someone maybe is going to steal this idea, that's fine. Or ChatGPT or wherever can guide you through exactly how to cut your own hair. Not just talk at you, but work you through. Maybe you've not done this part. Like, oh, Helen, go back and get a bit more from that front area. You didn't get it right. And when you pull it out, make sure that you hold it to here, and it gives you a guide on your screen of where you should be putting your hand and how you should be snipping your thing, your ends. Oh, come closer, you come closer. It's like, okay, you missed a little part there, or start snipping upwards. Okay, I think you get my point. And so guess what? Maybe you don't have to go to the hairdresser as frequently. And does it take that person's job? Maybe it doesn't take all the jobs, but maybe it takes some of the entry-level jobs away. So that's just one situation where I think the knock-on effect of what could happen is not maybe what we're expecting and not what we're thinking. It's not this linear thing where like the exact thing that you do can be replaced by it. No, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's that the level of teaching people how to do things, because Google's latest phone now with the AI in it is promising to teach you how to do plumbing under your sink. That was a recent commercial. If you dropped your ring in the sink, loosen this and loosen that. No, not that one, right? We're at a level of discernment from AI in real time that I think will have knock-on effects, even if you think you're 100% AI proof. I don't think that you can totally say that you're safe. And I'm seeing a level of self-regard, I don't know, self-importance maybe, from people that I think may come to regret it. I don't know, but I think it's worth thinking about. So for my own part, I am actually a little bit shocked at how I feel like AI is kind of chasing me around. Whatever I do, it seems to be like hot on my tail, and it has shocked me. Okay, let me quickly explain. So a couple years ago, ChatGPT came out bursting onto the scene. This was a new large language model. And what did it do? It wrote things, right? It really summed up things quickly. It could give you an overview. It could give you lists of things. It could give you travel itineraries. It could do a lot of the work that I was doing as a writer, even though that career was already dwindling, right, at that point. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, I guess that's it for the type of writing that I do. And I've pretty much been correct on that prediction. Like when I saw it, I knew the writing was on the wall. Absolutely, it is. A lot of the media outlets that I used to write for now have AI embedded in their search, and it will take their existing body of work and just spit out a really precise answer for the person who's maybe doing a search on that site, thus negating the need for me to write a lot of brand new articles. What that happens in 10 years' time when all that stuff is old and hasn't been updated by humans, I don't know. That's not my problem to think about. I'm just saying it kind of ate that aspect of my income. Fine. The next people that it kind of came for was and is photographers. We're starting to see that with a lot of these, Midjourney and other AIs that make photographs so beautiful that you would wonder why you would need a photographer. And so I think that has effectively really curtailed the photography industry for people who are not like a big name, people trying to like get their footing in photography. If they're like mid-level, entry-level photographers, I think they're pretty much cooked. Then in the last month, I've seen it come for video, and that is what I do here on YouTube, and it's coming for that as well. So it's now eating that part of what I do. And that has come staggeringly quickly. I was not expecting that at all. I didn't think we would see like a deep fake video creation where you can just get your face and any scenario that you wanted, the likes of which we're seeing on Sora 2. I thought that was a while away. I did not think that was going to be this month. I thought that was going to be in a year and a half from now, and I'd have more time to think about what's going on. How to pivot. Do I need to pivot out of video? It had kind of caught me off guard. So all I'm saying is that it could catch you off guard too, maybe not in the way that you're thinking. So I don't think that I have a lot of practical advice other than to just maybe be open to the possibility that could happen. And what does that maybe look like in your life? At that point, I would hate for you to feel like you got caught flat-footed because you just feel like you're untouchable. I don't think anybody's untouchable. I'm sure there are like exceptions. I think automation is far away from many of the jobs that we see humans doing. And maybe there's even going to be like a Luddite type backlash where people don't want to use those things for a long time. But I do think this particular strain of progress is fairly inevitable, because if you think about it, we're employed by people and there's no incentive to do things the difficult way, the more expensive human labor way. There's no incentive for that to carry on. And we know that with capitalism, that's the direction that things generally go in, right? To maximize profits. And I think that that's where AI is going to come in in ways that we are yet to understand and yet to see. So I'm filming this October 2025. If you're coming to this later on, it will be interesting to see where things are. But yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Please do drop me a comment and let me know what you think of this whole issue. Would love to hear from you, especially as this is a new channel and I could really use any engagement you'd be willing to offer. Consider subscribing. Once again, we'll see you in the next video.